Hey y'all, welcome back to Memaw's house, where we're eating good food, sharing good times, and we hope you enjoy your stay. Let's get to cooking. Hey y'all, welcome back to Memaw's house. I'm in the kitchen again. It's cold outside still because it's still winter and we still have a little bit of snow on the ground. I wanted to make some soup. I'm going to make some Olive Garden Copycat Pasta Fagioli. I might not have pronounced that right, but that's what I'm making. I also have some breadsticks in the bread maker. I'm just letting that make the dough for me. And if you're interested in seeing that video, I've done it before, but I'll do it again if you let me know you want to see that. So I'm going to make some pasta fagioli and I'm going to make some breadsticks to go along with it. So let's get to cooking. Here are the ingredients that we'll be using to make our pasta fagioli. We'll use a pound of ground beef, some veggies we'll cut up. I've already cut up tomatoes and some garlic. We'll cut up onions, celery, and carrots. Then we'll open up some cans of beans, white and kidney beans, and then some tomato sauce. We'll make some beef broth, and we'll put our noodles and our seasoning in. You know this list will be listed down in the description box. So here we go. We're going to start this by going ahead and cooking our noodles. Now I'm only going to cook the noodles for about 5 to 6 minutes. I don't want to cook them all the way because they'll have more cooking time in the soup itself. So we pre-cook the noodles so that they won't absorb all of the broth out of the soup. So they can't absorb so much liquid, so we'll let them absorb some of the salty water that we're cooking them in, and then we'll get them into the soup. But now let's go ahead and chop up our veggies. And of course, you know I'll put some veggie chopping music right here for you to enjoy. Now, just as I started cutting this onion, the water began to boil for my noodles. So let's go ahead and put in half the box of noodles so that we can get those cooking. So I'll let these cook for 5 to 7 minutes or until they're al dente. Now that I've started the noodles, I want to go ahead and start the ground beef just to have all the cooking process started. So let's get that in. Now this ground beef had very little fat in it, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil to my Dutch oven pan and let that cook and brown, because that will help that meat to brown a little bit, and it will also give me enough fat to cook those veggies in. Now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and get back to our veggie chopping, our onion. Let's get it chopped up, and then we'll be able to add all of our veggies in with our ground beef. Now that our ground beef is browning up nicely, I'm going to go ahead and add my Italian seasoning and some pepper. We'll add salt as I need to, but I want to go ahead and get that in now. Now that the ground beef is just about done, I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. And you know, I keep some pucks of minced garlic in my freezer just for a time such as this. So I'm going to add that, and then I'll get the other veggies put in. Let me get that bowl out of the way, and we'll go ahead and stir the veggies in just to make sure that they're coated with all of the good fat. Okay, everything's cooking. Let's go ahead and make some beef broth. And you know I like to use the paste, either better than bouillon, and I've come to find out that I like this that comes from Sam's Club. And this is a beef paste, a beef broth paste. So I'm adding a heaping tablespoon into 3 cups of water. And the water is warm, that helps it break up a little bit easier. So that's just a little tip for you. Use warm water if you're using the paste, because it does allow for it to melt a little bit easier. So now that I have this all ready, let's go back to our stove and get everything mixed in. And as I was walking back through, I went ahead and drained my noodles. I stopped them from cooking and drained them. Now let's go ahead and add the tomatoes. And I just had a few cherry tomatoes that were here at the house. I did not want them to go to waste because you know we own this January, no spend January. And I was not going to let them go to waste. Even in a no spend November, I'm not letting it go to waste. So I have chopped up the tomatoes, put those in. Those were already chopped. We put them in. And now let's add, after the broth, we're adding our tomato sauce. And this is just a canned tomato sauce from Walmart. You can add that in and we'll get that in and get to seasoning stuff. Now I'm getting ready to add my beans. I have a white bean and I have a kidney bean, a light kidney bean. And I'm going to add those that I have drained. You can add them with the juice in it, but I prefer not to have the juice. I don't want so much of a bean taste. I just want the bean texture. Now, as I'm stirring this in, it does not give me enough of a tomato base for the soup that I would prefer. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm standing here thinking. You see me thinking. I'm thinking that I need to add another can of tomato sauce. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me get that opened and put that in our pan. Yeah, now that's better. That looks more hearty to me and it smells better. So I'm going to correct my recipe and put in 2 cans of tomato sauce. Now I'm going to cover this and let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Before I let it simmer too long, I want to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of white sugar to take the bite out of all of that tomato sauce I just added to the soup. Now it's ready to be covered and to simmer for a while. Oh, everything is coming together very nicely. I'm going to mash these little tomatoes up just a little bit because they have a lot of water in them and they're blowing up just a little bit, and I want them to be incorporated in the soup. So we're going to mash that a little bit and we're going to continue to stir. I do have some breadsticks making over in my bread maker, some dough being made over in my bread maker. You may hear the hum of the bread maker, but I am making some breadsticks, and I'll show you them at the end. In the meanwhile, I'm going to add my noodles so that they can absorb some of that good tasting broth that I know is in this soup. So let's get that in. They're kind of sticking together, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And we'll get them in there. And we'll mix this together and let it simmer for just a little while longer, about 5 or 6 more minutes. Now I've tasted my broth and it still needs a little something. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt and I'm going to add some Italian seasoning, just a pinch more Italian seasoning. But I will tell you, it smells delicious in here. Between that bread dough and this soup, it smells fabulous. Now I've measured out and formed my breadsticks. I'm going to let them rise, covered of course, and I'll show you what they look like in a little bit. Now they're all done. I'm going to brush them with a little bit of garlic butter so that we can have a very hearty meal for our dinner tonight. Now let's go ahead and serve up our soup with the breadstick and see how my family like it.
Nope.
I put a little Parmesan cheese.
Yes, good.
I don't have any fresh to grate like they do at Olive Garden, but I will tell you my breadsticks are better. So let's go ahead and serve our family dinner. We don't have a taste tester tonight because everybody's busy doing whatever it is they're doing. But I wanted to make sure that you saw the pot of soup
to the right
that you can get together for your family so that you can enjoy that for you and your family. Make you some. It's delicious. So that does it for my video today. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. We'd love to have you over here at Memaw's house. Y'all be blessed. Bye.